This is the Madala Mindset.
Every week, we talk about life, friendship, and work.
And everything we're still trying to figure out. Let's get into it.
Did you ever feel like
Hmm.
some people were born to tell stories?
Yes. For example, Amish Tripathi,
Amish Tripathi, nice.
Jack
Nice.
Reacher, author, that guy.
Lee Child.
Hmm. I feel
Lee
like some
Child.
people just have that artistic edge to them,
Mm.
uh, and they just like doing that. That's just like embedded into their soul.
It's like all they can imagine is bigger than life things. Like there is some or the other thing running in their head that they have to put
Mm.
on paper or on a film or on a canvas.
Mm.
It must be so tedious, no, to live like that.
Why is it tedious? If that's what they like doing, why was that? Why is it tedious?
You constantly have so many voices in your head that you have to tell them all out.
Bro, both of us are not artistic people. We also have multiple voices in our head.
Maybe that's schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. Oh.
But I have a weird attraction towards creative people, honestly, towards people who have so many things going on in their mind that they have
Mm.
to put it out. They have to tell their story or that story or that push that is there. No, for some reason, I have this innate respect towards creative people, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like creative people in general owe a responsibility to society to give that voice, to give that thought, to free the society of things that I don't know,
Yeah.
that I can't do. That is something that I can look up to saying, this is insane. How did you come up with this?
Honestly, that's exactly how I feel about RM or the other members of BTS. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they have so much artistic expression abilities that I do
Mm,
not have.
mm,
And every time they put out anything out there, I'm like, wow, how could you think of that? How could you put it that way? But I can only imagine the amount of pressure
mm,
that sort of thing puts on them, especially when they grow big,
mm,
like when they're not small neighborhood artists anymore, when they have
mm,
a bigger exposure, bigger stage to impress, I guess. But the thing about these people is they are probably like 40% this needs to impress someone, and 60% I don't care, this is my artistic expression.
mm,
Right. Because they know the value of it being out there means that someone has to see it. Only then it holds some meaning.
mm,
Like this podcast, the thing that we strive for is interactions and people reacting to it and, reciprocating our thoughts or going against our thoughts. Can be anything, but
mm,
that attention is necessary. And so they know that's important, but they don't let that take the center stage. Their
mm,
art is still the main point of it.
mm,
And they express everything that they want to express anyway,
mm.
is what I think. Yeah.
It is so important after an artist is picked that they don't get lost in the vanity of it. That
Mm,
the see most of the cases, everyone, including us, we have a certain set of ideas. We
right,
have like 20 ideas, 30 ideas, and we want to put these 20, 30 out there. And these 20, 30 ideas are a bomb. They make complete sense. They're wholly thought. And now we don't have anything after those 20, 30. Our
right.
ideas have stopped here. So, what I have seen is I respect people like this. Obviously, we are not. gods, that we can constantly create something new. Okay, that is not the expectation, but the expectation is we don't try to hold on to that stardom. We don't try to hold on to that light.
Mm. Don't
And
let it get to your head, I
yeah,
guess.
we were here for the art form of it, and we will be here for the art form of it, and that is it. This is my full
Right.
stop. Yeah.
That again, that really reminds me of BTS too, because the latest album that they came up with is so different from what they usually do, and they knew that there would be backlash or whatever and whatnot.
Mm,
And they still chose to put it out there because they're like, this is us now. And if you're looking for an older version of us, that is your problem. That is not our problem. We cannot do that. How can we stay stuck in the past just because our past selves were more successful? You
yes.
know, it's like making, if Rajamouli made an out of the world movie like Bahubali, and he was just stuck there that now I have to produce movies only like Bahubali.
Mm,
That would be sad.
yes, agreed. And for me personally, the minute I think of his name, there's an automatic smile, automatic happiness, automatic blush, and everything that comes. Uh, the person who encourages art forms for me personally, and not the vanity of the art form itself,
Hmm.
is Rana Daggubati.
Your love, your crush, what else?
My soulmate.
Your muse, I guess.
He makes me so happy. I'm so glad he exists.
I'm glad he exists too because he makes you so happy.
Yeah. No, so all of these radical views that we call them, radical, that we call them,
Mm.
especially views on the Telugu film industry or film industries in general, where
Mm.
I personally did not enjoy only violence movies, or if the movies only about a singular person, and it is only about one main character, and that main, I don't enjoy movies like that.
So you don't like any movies these days, I guess. The same. Me too, bro. Me too.
And I am not that person, and since my 6th grade, 7th grade, I think there were few films that released, and I had friends who were like, I used to have a friend in 7th grade who was a hardcore Pawan Kalyan fan, okay? Hardcore. And I think that was the time when Panja released. And he was so excited about Panja. And the point is, I have never related to any of this fandom, not only Pawan Kalyan, just any of the fandom in general. And I think that,
Mm.
see, Rajnikant is God. That is an established fact for me. But I am
Yeah.
not going to say that every film Rajnikant has done is 100% is the best movie out there.
Yeah.
That is not the kind of fan I am. I genuinely believe that person is an amazing actor. He puts everything that he has into the craft of it. And I'm a fan. Come on, I am too small to be commenting on somebody that big. That
Right.
person is just too much. And since then, I've always had opinions that went on saying, see, for me, movies are an art form. They have to talk to me. They have to speak about a story. They have to put something out there. I do not enjoy movies that don't put any idea out there and everything. And I think 7 or 8 years later, there came a man called Rana Daggubati. And he put a movie out there called Bomalata. And called Bomalata. And it was a small budget film, and
Mm.
he was not aiming to make a formula movie, as we call it. And that really interested me, okay? Because that was also the time Asta Chamma was coming out, and all of these other films were coming out, and they were all Srinivas Avasarala's movies were coming out, and they were all small budget films, and they all had
Mm.
so much art invested in it. Like Asha
Right.
Chamma's album is poetry. It's like actual poetry. Someone sat down and loved that movie. I love that. And the amount of investment that they have done on it, I love that. And when this also came, it was very, very well done. Forget if it was amazing, if it hit checked all the boxes and everything. It was an effort. Apart from the regular thing, it was an effort. And then Rana did a movie called Leader. He acted below average a bit. Okay. I will tell you
It's a
honestly.
questionable movie. I remember watching it in the movie with my family, and we were like, something is there, but we don't know
There
what.
was one shot where my mom and I didn't understand. So he was standing by the balcony or something. His father passed away and he had to take over the kingdom, sort of thing. And he was just standing there. And he was very troubled, apparently. We couldn't see it in his face. His mother came and he said, I have never seen you this troubled. And my mom and I were like, where? Where is the trouble? What the hell? This person is not an actor. And I remember thinking at that point, my biggest fear was, are they going to rub one more Nepo kid on us who can't act?
Right.
But that, after that movie release, the first thing that person came out and said, I am not an actor. I am not that great of an actor. I know that. I know where I stand. And I would like to do for film industry more than acting. And when I know I'm better off as a model or I'm better some other places, I would like to be in those places than acting. If there is a role that needs me there for the
Right.
advertisement of it, I will be there. But if the story is good, it has to be told and nobody else is picking it, that is when I'll be there. If not, if somebody else is picking it, I will let them be because that is not my frontier. And I think that is the day I developed this. Yeah. He's so pretty. He's so perfect.
I wouldn't use the word pretty for him, honestly. I guess I'd use he's so dreamy in a way.
He's he's just so
Yeah.
perfect. The amazing thing about this person that I enjoy or see or when I listen to him that I enjoy this much is he's very self-aware. He's extremely self-aware. He knows exactly where he stands when he talks. And he has done his groundwork. He completely understands the gauge of things. And again, I'm not saying he's humble. He's completely
Ooh.
flamboyant. He talks about the power he has.
Yeah, he knows what he has. He knows
Yes.
what he can do.
He has never denied the fact that he is rich, that he's born in a powerful family. He's surrounded with power every single day. He has never denied that. But he has also said that when I'm born with such kind of power, I will take up the responsibility and move this forward.
Mm.
And that is so attractive.
It's like, I don't know, it's using the power he has for the things that matter to him,
Yeah.
instead of just using it left, right, and center, like usually the Nepo kid. Yeah, I guess that's what he does very differently. He doesn't feel like a Nepo kid, first of all. Like, when he's talking, he comes off as this amazingly put together
Yeah.
person. And arrogance is not the word I would think of when I'm watching him talk or just do stuff. I guess the only time I've seen him arrogant in quotes unquote is in the Bahubali movie with his character, where the character is actually arrogant.
You know, the other favorite thing of his that I love is the way he talks about Hyderabad. Hyderabad
Uh-huh.
is his home. He was born in Madras and then he grew up in Hyderabad. And all he talks about is how much it has grown around him and how much he's grown with it and how much the food means to him. And every part of him is about Hyderabad only. And he's dedicated his life to Hyderabad. And it is like, same. That is a city you can never get tired of talking about. It's just so perfect. And when somebody else loves it that much, and it is not for the sake of getting you to like him, he's
Yeah,
just genuinely in love with the city.
just like you again.
He's my soulmate. This is so unfair. Randomly, one fine day, 2020, watching some random shit online, and then comes, we are getting married. And I'm like,
Oh.
ఏం అన్యాయం చేశా? What if?
Yeah, man. I guess when Mahesh Babu got married, we were too young, so we didn't really have a say in it. And we were
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm a kid. What can I do? But
yeah,
I guess when Rana got married, we were old enough to get married. And
agitated. Yeah.
uh,
That man, everything, the way I can just hear him talk forever, just nerd out. Please. You know, the second time that I fell for him hard was when he bought Amar Chitra Katha. He bought Amar Chitra Katha because why I loved that was Tinkle was my magazine. Tinkle and Amar Chitra Katha came in together, and it was from the same production house.
right.
So Tinkle slowly shifted after like 2005 or something towards advertisements more. It needed the
Yeah,
budget.
because they had to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Mm.
needed the budget. So it moved towards advertisements, and three-fourths of the magazine started becoming about advertisements.
That is too much.
Yeah, I lost interest in the magazine after that. And I think 5 years down the lane after this happened, Amar Chitrakatha was bought out by Rana, and the stories were so vibrant. Till then, the stories were like Panchatantra stories, and it was about
Right.
history. And from there, it started being about like these kings and ministers and Tenali Raman and sages and all of these stories that I have heard like here or there from stories from my mom, grandmom, and things like that. He started printing them. That was something he invested, and that change came after he took it over.
Wow.
How do you not love a person like that? I don't know.
How can someone think of that, first of all?
How passionate should you be about storytelling? That you have touched
Right.
like every form, every media form to give out stories. Like every form of media is out there on your name. You have made like a platform for anybody to come out and talk.
Honestly, how observant do you have to be
Correct.
to get a grasp of all the fields and everything that is going on everywhere instead of just the field that, he, I don't know, is majorly in, which is films.
Yeah.
He's he's everywhere. Like I watched that interview of his where he was talking about how he's trying to bring tech into the Indian film industry and how we are technically up until that point, at least before Bahubali, we were basically making movies like we were making in the 1980s, and
Mm.
some change was necessary, and he invested in all these tech startups to bring those technologies into films. Like, bro, how aware are you
Yeah,
of the things that are
exactly.
going on?
When someone brings up and says this person is way ahead of their time, I can only think of Rana, as the first example because he bought in so many things. There is this one line he said in one of his interviews is I I established a VFX company when I was quite young, when I was like 25, 26, because I wanted to tell larger than life stories. But we were
Right.
not getting larger than life stories at that point. So I had to sell off the company. But I was not that experienced. I was 25, 26, and I sold it off. But I come from a family where the idea is if you start something, you back it up no matter what. Even if it is going down, you back it up. And my family was believed that I have the money to back it up. Then why are you not? Just wait. But I sold it because it was not going anywhere, and I had like a team of people that I needed to feed, which I didn't want to do when we were not doing anything productive. This was not my dream.
Right.
I established that in the hope that there will be a filmmaker who will come and do a film like Bahubali, and we'll have in-house VFX ready. But I waited for so long that that filmmaker came 10 years later. I am still glad I participated in it in a certain way, but that film came very late. So either I thought of it very early on,
Mm.
and he also claims that I also established a game studio where I
He
knew
has a
that
game
in
studio.
I know, right?
What does he not have? He owns Amar Chitrakada. He also has a production house. He has a game studio. What else?
He said that I believe in future at
Hmm.
some point gaming will be the primary form of media because it is
Hmm.
interactive and storytelling. It is not only storytelling. And I wanted to start that in company in India. So I started a game studio. But again, it was way ahead of its time. I was 10, 20 years too early. We're still not there.
Yeah. I feel like if he was in Hollywood, he would have been so much big or than he where he is right now because the speed at which his thinking is, I feel like
Yeah.
would match more with Hollywood than Tollywood. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that he's in Tollywood because some at least one person we have who thinks
No,
like that.
what I like about that is he is very aware of that and he still
Hmm.
wants to be here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He wants to
yeah.
pioneer that here. He wants to give that platform here. That is one of my favorite parts. And, as people who have read English books for most of our lives, I believe that you and I think in English.
Most part, yes.
Telugu in general, it is not as fluent. It is English is not an
Broken.
effort.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is not
yeah.
like we put effort in talking in that language. It's normal. And I'm not saying that we don't get Telugu words in between. We could say. But the point is, it is not an extreme effort for us. It is for this. It is the same for him. So when he talks, he's not putting effort on the word. He's not putting effort on the thinking of what word comes here, what word comes here. He's just talking, and even if he's talking in like a Hindi place or a Tamil place, Telugu will come in between for him. He's not putting effort there, and that feels so familiar. For the longest time, I was called the posh child, the Ingle piece, and all that.
For being fluent in English, like they're like, oh my God, the word they use in Telugu is pedolu.
Pedolo.
I just care too much about grammar. Is that so wrong? I like grammar. I
Yeah,
know what
and
you mean. Yeah.
he makes that so normal, and that happens when you read books in that language. So we have read a lot of books in the language English, so we think in that language also, and that is why most of our pronunciations of few words are wrong because we read them, we didn't listen to them.
Yeah, we didn't listen to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we read them and we have a weird pronunciation of that word in our head right now. It is the same for him. When he talks about Roald Dahl, oh my god.
He has read that too. Is he us? Basically. And honestly, I guess I relate to him too because of just the way he can connect things. I feel like one of his amazing abilities, like we talked about earlier, is the ability to connect one thing to the other. It's like we want to make larger than life movies, so what do we need for
Mm.
that, and how do we bring that into India, and what are the resources required for that? He's just someone who's really good at that.
He once spoke about filmmaking, as two separate entities.
Mm-hmm.
First, the story, that being the main product that is being
Right.
churned, and
Mm.
the industry. These are two separate entities, and the industry
Mm.
is not survived only by the director. There are many things that go in to make a film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of these things should be encouraged, should be enriched, should grow at the same
Mm.
speed. I remember him
Mm.
talking about AI in 2013, 2014. He
That's
spoke, yeah, he spoke about the fact that automation is coming, robotics are coming, and we
mm.
need to learn to inculcate them into our
Right.
movies. And we
Mm.
need a platform to do that.
Honestly, the thing is, he's so powerful, and he still chooses to be this person who is humble and true to his interests. And, you know, I don't feel like the industry would want to catch up with him. I feel
Mm,
like they know they cannot, is one
mm,
thing. And another really sad thing is that I think the reason why people listen to him at all is because he's powerful.
mm,
People do not listen to people like him if they're not coming from a position of power,
mm,
is my problem that I have with the typical Telugu film industry that we have, where if one form of a story is a hit, like let's say Dukudu was a hit,
mm,
and Dukudu's formula was there's a police officer and there is Samantha, and Samantha is, I don't know, some police officer, Commissioner Skotoro and everything. And that hit. And after that, I remember 10 more movies that came out in the exact same pattern. They milk out the same concept until it's dry and dead on the road. In, and I guess the problem was also the audience, right?
completely
The
agreed.
audience
See,
watches.
I'll tell you what I like about this man when he talks about a film is he doesn't talk about a film as one film. He talks about
Mm,
every movie as a phenomenon. So, for example, when he talks about Bahubali, he doesn't talk
mm,
about Bahubali as the movie that S.S. Rajmouli made. And the reason it was
mm,
successful is complete solo credit to Rajmouli. He was
mm.
brilliant, not denying that. But when he talks about it, he talks about it as the proper basis that fell at the right place at the right time. He talks about it
Right.
like that was the time when internet came. That was the time when
Mm,
Marvel films came. That was the time when
mm.
larger than movies were ready. So theaters were ready to
Right.
handle larger than movies. And that was also the time where there were a lot of dubbing movies. So movies were getting
Oh.
translated from here to there. Like Mass was one
Mm,
of the biggest
mm,
selling dubbed movie across. Chandramukhi
mm.
made a flying level for us. And
Right.
Pokeri was translated across five languages, six languages.
Languages, right. Mm,
So there were a lot of dubbing movies. So people started listening to Telugu film industry. There was a layer that was ready for the Telugu film to put their feet on. And the
mm,
fact that internet became so prevalent literally then, we had Facebook literally then. So it was
mm.
hardly like 1 2 years since Facebook started, and that was the age where all of these teenagers were excited to go to films. That is when Bahubali hit.
Right.
So when Bahubali hit, the story, the size, everything was massive. The PR was equally
Mm,
massive, so it hit at all the right spots. And to talk about a movie like this, to be able to gauge at every level of a pattern that took it to the
mm,
elevation that it is, it takes a lot of guts. If I go to a group of people who are complete Telugu film industry fans and say that Bahubali was a hit, not only because of its brilliance in filmmaking, but also because of all of these socio-political norms that played
mm.
out, I will be bashed down.
Yeah, because of course Bahubali is a hit because of Prabhas.
Nobody will agree to the fact also that there were so many factors at play. And the fact that
Right.
RRR reached the Oscar level is because Bahubali was a hit. That was the platform
Yeah.
for it. And
Yeah.
it gave it that money to make that PR till that level. Now, if anybody else talks about this anywhere else, they will
Mm.
be disbarred, hated on, commented on, and everything. But because Rana Raghuvanti said it,
They had to listen. They had to listen.
That surname,
That's
Daggubati
what I'm
surname,
saying.
no.
Has so much power. See, that's what I'm saying. All his views are radical, but they are listened to because he's
Yes,
powerful. And I'm glad he's powerful. I'm so happy he's
yes.
powerful because some, at least some people are listening to at least someone who thinks like that. If not me, I love that about him. And personally, I have not watched a lot of him. I've only
Mm.
watched that one interview that you sent me and deeply dissected it like I was doing some surgery. And the thing is, his thoughts are an open book, but he is not an open book.
Yeah,
I don't know shit about him, but I
yeah,
know about his ideologies and his thinking, and I respect that so much.
yeah.
It's so hard to be that public figure, but also not be exposed to the public.
Uh, you know
Yeah.
what I enjoy when he talks?
Mm.
When I talk about films the way he talks, when I say that I don't like this film because there is nothing but narration, the
Mm.
person who's supposed to act, who was paid to act, has not acted. Narration has done the entire point of that film. I am
Right.
hated on so much. I'm considered to be against Telugu film industry in general. When I really enjoy films. I love
Mm.
films. I absorb every single content that is out there. I sit and see like every
Right.
detail at its core.
Mm.
So it is a very
Mm.
misunderstood thing when I say that I want them to do better. They have the
Yeah.
money, they have everything. There is a lack of idea. They have to invest in bringing ideas forward. Rana said exactly the same fucking thing.
Why did he say that? About what? In specific, I need to
He
know the
he
specific.
said word to word that our film industry is people who follow formulas. If a
Yes.
formula works, we recreate the formulas. And in this
Yes.
noise of formulas that we constantly recreate, we lose original stories. All money goes to recreating formulas. I want to
Yeah.
invest in the small stories. I want original stories to come out. Some might hit, some might not, and they could be because of
Mm.
many reasons. They could be because of
Mm.
screenplay or anything, but they will not work out. That is okay, but they should have a platform.
They should
And that's
happen
my
first,
Job.
Kaza.
That is
Yeah, they
my
should at
job
least
to
come to
provide.
light.
Yes. That
Yeah.
is why I invest in movies like Care of Kansalpalam or Kida Kola, and I want them to do
Mm.
it. And when
Right. He's
someone talks about it like that, you realize
mm.
that this is genuine love for the art form, that you want to see it grow.
Yes. He wants to enable the art form to grow, not
Yeah.
the one who's controlling it. He wants to
Yes.
like enable it. That's the only word I can think of. I don't know if it makes sense, but he just
He
wants
literally
to
said, if it grows, I grow. So it's my job to make it grow.
it's how should I say again, like about coming back to that interview that I watched about him, in that he was asked these questions about Bollywood versus Tollywood.
Mm,
And I feel like he could have given a very generic answer to it, but he was extremely specific about what he had observed. He was like, you know, there's the money difference, there's too much money in Bollywood, and because of a lot of money being there in Bollywood, the stories are taking the back seat and the money is taking the front seat. It's more about earning, what do you call that thing? The collections and beating that 100 crore, 200 crore mark than telling the story or anything else. They just want to make back the money. It's not about are we making an impact on the society or anything anymore. And he says that, in Telugu, even though actors are worshipped, still the creative people are kind of in charge of
mm,
things. So
mm.
it feels very different to be on a set in Tollywood and Bollywood. And I'm like, you just casually store that in your head and going around with the day and you
You
just
know
spit it in
what
an
I
interview.
love about that is the fact that he has thought so much about it. That
Yeah.
you realize the reason we started this podcast is because we had so many of these thoughts in our head
Yes.
and we
Yes.
didn't know where to put all of these thoughts. We have thought about everything. He has done the same. He's thought so much about it. In that interview, did you hear the part where he says when someone says 100, 200 crores, it
Hmm.
doesn't make sense to me because I have
Yeah.
sat down in a position as a distributor and I've counted tickets. So in my
Oh,
head,
yes.
it is
Yeah.
each ticket to this amount, and I count. That is my favorite
Correct.
part of it.
Correct. He describes about this time when he was at his home and people just still used to call from every theater to tell this is the collection of this theater, this is the
Mm.
collection of this theater. And so in his head, those numbers are like 20,000 per theater or 30,000 per theater. So it does not amount to the, 100, 200 crores.
Yeah,
And how how did you link that very personal experience of yours to this? Like, how much have you sat on it? And
passionate
it's
for you. Not everybody does
uh,
that. When you talk to a distributor, also, they talk about the money that they made out of this man has taken that concept, has bought it to the comparison of PRs, of marketing, of all of this, broken it down at a business plan level, and decided
yeah,
how much investment is going in where, and made a company
yeah.
for every part of that investment. Ah, long live Rana Daggubati.
Yeah, man. And I think around the same time when he was talking about that, he also talked about how he was working in a distribution office
Mm.
personally, and which is why he knows, things from ground up instead of top down. And honestly, kudos to his parents for letting him be there.
No,
And
did you
the
hear
way
the way he
that
spoke about Suresh Productions as
nepotism,
a beginning? Yeah. He was like, I
yeah.
don't understand that because the shootings were happening in my house. I was doing the
Oh,
camera
yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was doing the assistant direction. I was doing everything that was there.
Yeah, he was living on the first floor with his family, and on the ground
Yeah.
floor, the shootings and all were happening. So it was a
Yeah.
very regular thing for him. And he
Yeah.
also, again, as an extension to that, he talked about how nepotism and as its definition is so different to him versus how it is
Yeah.
up there, that nepotism meant you work more, you do more, you are more in it rather than being this privileged person who gets everything, come to them. And so he's very not privy to all the
Vanity of
nepotism
it.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He can't fit into those stories, man. The way we talk about nepotism to what he is like very different. You know, there
he
is
does not.
this one thing that I want to quote from one of our previous podcasts that he said too.
Mm,
We spoke about God as a story, as a folklore,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how God travels as folklores, and that is stronger and that
Mm,
makes more sense. So when you tell a story as a moral of the story and things like that, you absorb the story and make it yours, and that is when the that God reaches you. That is why
yes,
Ramayana or all of these epics reached. He said
right.
exactly that line to line about Amar Chitra Katha magazines when he was asked as to why are you everywhere and why did you buy that magazine? He said, God is a form of storytelling that should hit. It has
Mm.
been part of us and somewhere we have lost it, and I want to bring that back. And that is why Amar Chitra Katha is that personal to me.
Aw,
I'll cry, bro. Okay. I'll cry. This is validation for me, okay? That I am not overthinking everything, that I am not
yeah.
insane, that there is another person out there who is doing exactly that. And I feel so helpless when I can't do anything about this. When I see all of these films that make no sense. I don't know what you were trying to do with this film. You invested this much money into something that doesn't make sense. What the hell? And
Salar.
then
She shooting out there just Salar.
no, I don't want to say one film. I honestly don't want to say one film because then I'll take out a list. But there's so many, and I am just sitting here like I wish I could do something, just something,
Mm,
you know. And
mm.
then there is this man who is doing that, and I feel like he's also feeling equally helpless because he's the only one doing it.
I know it must be so lonely in that
Yeah.
space, right?
You know what he said when someone asked, why do you think Amar Chitrakarta picked up after you took it? He said, I have these
Mm,
wonderful editorial team, many people,
mm,
who
mm,
all the kudos to them. All I did was buy the company and give them all
mm,
freedom. So what they do is they consistently release good stories. So every 15 days, every 1 month, there is a magazine that is released out, and that is a story
right.
at an
Mm,
exceptional level. So there is consistency and there is a good story that is coming out. So it
mm.
is important. And I will make films only when I can do it with that kind of consistency.
Consistency.
If I can't give that kind of consistency at the films that I make, then I will not make them. And I honestly think, see, that is the luxury of money that he has to say, I
Yes.
will not make this film and I will still survive. I am okay. And there are people out there who can't save it, who can't say, I'll not
Yeah.
make a film. That is not
Yeah.
something they can do.
Mhm.
But that man, the clarity of that man, I really like that he has the luxury of money
Mm,
because in his mind, he says, I know that I was way ahead of time. And I know that this
mm.
idea was very new at that point. But if you don't keep doing new things and if you don't keep failing, then you're never actually growing. So I want to keep failing. I'm comfortable failing.
And he's comfortable failing. He can
Yeah.
afford to fail.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we should not forget that. And he doesn't forget that too, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Because that man has invested in like sports. He has invested in magazines. He has invested in filmmaking, media, VFX, everything. Every form of entertainment or storytelling he has invested in.
Yeah. And you know, one thing I was very surprised to hear about in that interview is when he said that within his family there is no competition. Like, he said that his family knows that they have different target audiences and they have different products that they produce, which is
My
why they
favorite
don't
word,
have.
the way he called
Is-
a film a product. I love that, the way he says all of us have different products, and that
Yeah.
product will only be yours, and that product is only in that one cinema theater. So that is
Mm.
only for them. And I'm like, yeah.
But how healthy is that family?
See, forget if that is real or not real. How healthy is this man to understand that at that capacity?
Right. Or how eloquent is he to pull out that answer in an instant?
Yes. How much has he thought about it?
Right.
Because when he released a video game of his
Mm.
own, we were still
Mm.
doing CD players.
Yes.
So
DVDs,
when
CDs and shit.
and he
Mm.
released a video game, and apparently the piracy companies earned more than he did in that process because it was a CD. And he's not even angry about it. He's just like, yeah, we should have done better work to safeguard it.
Yeah. It happens, and he knows it happens.
This man.
I like that he's aware of it and is not, yeah, angry about it. He's just aware and he does what he can do to stop it, but
Mm,
he does not let it affect him so much that that is like the main focus of his existence. And I
mm.
think he does that with a lot of things, not just piracy, with all the things that are surrounding him, the rumors, the paparazzi. I think he treats all of these things in a similar outlook he has to all these things.
So, what I really enjoyed when he spoke about this is he's not like every other person claiming out there that we have to catch up to the Western cinema because he
Mm,
understands the fact that people in India make
different
100 rupees
movies.
per, no,
Mm,
100 rupees per day. That is the least. And that is the dominant population that we're catering to. So, if you expect them to come to your theater and pay that 2 to 3 days of wage to watch
mm,
your film, then your film should be worthy of it. And for a person or for a producer or for somebody in that powerful position who can make money at his whim by investing in
Hmm.
films, in certain kind of films, and choosing not to is very societally aware. It's very humane that he's that aware that every choice that I make, like literally the film that I'm choosing to make, should
Hmm.
also be valuable for the audience. That 100 rupees ticket that they're paying should be
Hmm.
equally valued. You know how important it is to safeguard people like this in this world. If I had money, I would be him. I'm pretty sure. The way that man makes me feel, man. He makes me feel so normal, so sane,
Hmm.
so normal. Like it's not weird to be the way that we are, kind of normal.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, so hot.
I don't think we figured this out yet,
Not even a little bit.
but we tried, and hopefully, we ain't alone.
This is the Matilda mindset.
A space where we let ourselves be a little delusional.
If you've been thinking about this too, we'd love to hear it.
Well, we'll see you next time.